But there is something that needs to be said before moving on. It's a simple message, but it needs to be said. My mother meant well. She did her best to teach me, and I'm forever grateful for her to that. But she's not a guy, and she never will be. And I'll never know what the talk would have been like if my father had given it to me. And that's sad, but it's also life. For better or for worse, I look to the entertainment industry for some guidance. Before you all laugh and regard me as foolish for thinking I couldn't have picked a worse place to find a sound male influence, consider this. I wouldn't be nearly as handsome if I didn't have Brad Pitt's face to look at. Look, I know what's in Hollywood. A lot of garbage. But there is some good. I found Chris Farley. Sure, he had his demons. But he also opened my eyes to big people being more than just football players. He made people laugh at himself because he was willing to be laughed at. And in that sense, he's pretty unselfish. And that's a pretty good quality to have. Chris Farley's physical comedy has allowed me to laugh at myself, which is why I would love to become a physical comedian and follow in his footsteps. Who knew? I've been in training all these years and I didn't even know it. The only real problem with becoming the next Farley is that I have too much of a pretty boy Brad face. And too much of a hard Arnold body. But, surprise, surprise, TV can't provide all the moral support it takes to be a good man or a good father. How can it, when the industry claims all the Baldwin brothers as its own? Fortunately, I was given a good group of coaches and teachers. Take my football coach, Mr. Davis. He gave me the tools to be an enraged rhino on the football field. He taught me to crush my opponent into the ground until the whistle blew. But he also taught me to help him up after the play. He volunteered to take me to college football games and meet the coaches. You know, all the things my father would have done. Yeah, Coach Davis sure is a father to me, and I hope to stay a son to him. Because he obviously angered God, which explains why he only had daughters. And I can't leave out Mr. Welkley, who formally introduced me to music and theater. His ability to teach has given me invaluable experience for what I hope to become my career. Also, without him, I wouldn't be starring in this year's musical, 42nd Street, which opens in April in this building. Get your tickets now by visiting www.ancss.org. Harry, tickets are going fast. Mostly because my mother's buying all of them. But the best way to become a true man means looking up to the big guy. Because truth is, I can't rely on others to teach me everything. I have to be willing to learn most of it myself. And the only way to do that is to keep the big guy in the corner. I know I won't be able to wander too far off without hearing him call me home. And he's got my back, even though at times it feels he doesn't. He never abandons you, even though it feels like that sometimes. It's up to every boy to grow into his own man. That's what we're supposed to do. And not having a father around doesn't make it an impossible task. But recognizing the help I've received from other men sure has taught me it would have been a lot easier if he had been around. In a perfect world, every man would have a good father by his side. But this isn't a perfect world. Sometimes help is right there. Sometimes you need to search for it. And other times, you just have to make do. But no matter what, never mess with a man's nachos or his cheese. Thank you.